Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Massive Iron Live. My video looks a little bit skippy this morning. Not sure what's going on with that. Let me know if you guys if the video quality looks like crap because on my end it does. The YouTube app updated, so let me know what you see if the video is really crappy because this is the first time I have run a live video on the with the with the update on my phone. It looks really skippy. It looks really nasty. What do you guys think? Who's here this morning? Let me know who's here this morning. Um, Give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me see if I can figure out what this video looks like. Looking here on my thing. What's going on, guys? Been a while since I've done a video. Been away. Last in July, I ran three marathons in 4 weekends. The equivalent of I ran a 50K and a couple other really intense runs. So what's going on, Tolis 12? All right, we got some comments rolling in, and just making sure everything here actually works. So. What's everybody up to this morning? We're going to go hit a workout after this. Just a reminder, during these live videos, if I miss your comments, a lot of time it's from YouTube itself. So if I miss your comments, I'm not ignoring you. What's going on, Holland? If I miss your comments, head over to my Instagram, @BenTheBarman, @BenTheBarman. Slide into my DM with your comment. And the video quality looks a little bit sketchy this morning. I apologize for that. I'm not sure really what's going on with the YouTube app. I scheduled a live video this morning, but we'll just ignore that and just pretend like everything's more fluid. So what's going on, Portugal? We're going to go hit a workout today. When we're done, we're going to go do some, I think, chest and maybe shoulders work. So live videos, if you guys have not been on a live video before, I usually stay on about an hour. I answer every question I can. And just a reminder, if you can follow me on Instagram @BenTheBarman, follow me on Twitter @IronMassive. And if you guys need any assistance, what's going on, London? Happy Saturday late afternoon, I assume. Maybe it's about 6 there in London. Shout out to all the mad fifers in Scotland. I'm coming to Scotland in January. I'm going to spend 10 days running in Scotland in January. So look out, Scotland. I'm coming to Australia in October. I'm coming to Scotland in January. World traveler. If you guys need, before I get into the live video, please post up your questions on anything. Lifting, diet, training, nutrition. What's going on, Ben? Any questions, personal questions, I don't care. As long as they're not ridiculous, I'll answer the questions. If you guys need any one-on-one help, I have coaching spots available. All right, only a few. So you can head over to my Instagram @BenTheBarman, @BenTheBarman, or head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. Ask me information. I'll see what your goals are and let you know if I can help. You can head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com, get my book, Massive Iron, get my bench press course, get my power muscle burn course, all that kind of good crap. All right, enough with the commercial. Let's get into the questions. And please, post up your questions. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. First question is from Tolis12. What's your opinion about the Texas method for an early intermediate lifter with a focus on powerlifting? All right, I'm glad you specified a focus on powerlifting because a lot of times you will have power builders. Let me just adjust this. Sorry. My phone is constantly being blown up with notifications. I'm glad you specified powerlifting because a lot of guys that are into power building or just straight muscle building will want to use the Texas method, and it's a good system. But if you're looking to build strictly muscle, I don't necessarily, and power build, I don't necessarily think it's the best system. It is a good system for intermediates to try, but I don't think it's the type of system that you should run year long, and here is why. Run it, learn what you can from it, ride it to death. But what I strongly recommend doing is having a period during that year where you are doing more power building, where you're getting a little bit more volume, where you're focusing more on training every body part from head to toe and getting as strong as humanly possible. The Texas method is a good system, all right, but I do not believe it is a system. If you are interested in being as strong as you can, that's something you should run year long. I made a video about this, I don't know, within the last month, that if you want to get as strong as possible, you need to take muscle building seriously. Not train necessarily like a bodybuilder, but you have to take my advice, take my philosophy, and try to get the body as strong as humanly possible from head to toe. Every muscle group, traps, calves, biceps, triceps, everything. The Texas method is a good short-term program, meaning you can run it until you've squeezed every last ounce you can out of your lifts. But then after that, take a period of time where you are doing more power building, a little bit more volume, that sort of thing. All right, sorry the video is so skippy. For you guys that are tuning in late, the YouTube app updated on my phone and the video quality looks a little bit like crap, and I can't figure out why, so I apologize. Keep your questions coming, guys. I'll stay on as long as I have your questions. Let's see. Dash says, how does diet affect cardio gains? An interesting question. Diet will impact recovery, obviously. If you are in a calorie deficit, and I'm not really sure when you say diet, whether you're meaning a bulking diet, a cutting diet, calorie deficit, or what. But no matter what type of physical activity you're doing, if you're in a calorie surplus or at maintenance level, it's going to be a lot easier to recover. If you're in a deficit, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to recover. So you just have to be really, really careful about that. When I run in a calorie deficit and do my normal amount of running, which is 10 hours a week, my recovery suffers a little bit. I have to make sure I keep my water up. It doesn't really impact me beyond that, but I just know my recovery suffers a little bit. And, sometimes I'm just honestly more sleepy in the day. I wake up in the morning feeling almost like I could sleep 3 or 4 more hours. So the only thing I could say is if you're in a calorie deficit, just try to get as much sleep as you can. Try to maximize your nutrition. Don't just think about, calories and macronutrients. Make sure to think about micronutrients as well. Maximize your nutrition. As long as you're doing a reasonable amount of cardio, it shouldn't impact anything. If you guys are getting really crappy video quality, just let me know. I wish there was something I could do, but we already started the live stream, so we'll just have to deal with a little bit of skipping. Keep the questions coming, guys. I'm going to tell you from now on, the best question in these live videos, I'm going to send a free Massive Iron t-shirt out to you anywhere in the world, okay? So post up your question. At the end of the day, I'm going to look at the questions, figure out what the best question was, and I will contact you, and I'll leave a comment in the bottom of this video who won. And you guys can contact me on Instagram, and I'll send you a free t-shirt. All right. Let's see. Let's go on to the next question. We have Dirty Dan, and Dirty Dan's using the old 3 and 4 trick to confuse the old guy in the room, which is me. Pyramiding up in weight to a top set and then backing off versus straight sets to focus on muscle building. There's no magic way. Neither is better. Neither is inherently better. It's highly personal. Either are questions like that. At the end of the day, the honest truth is it really does not matter. It really does not matter as long as you're progressing. Use whatever system you prefer. Now, I will say this. Pyramiding up in weight. If you're doing all-out sets where you're doing a reasonable amount of rep volume, let's say on bench you're doing 205 by 10, and then 225 by 8, and then 245 by 6. I don't like working up to heavy weight. You should do your warm-up sets and then your heavier weight and then pyramid down. That is a much better way to do things. Now, you never want to work up. Well, I can't say never. I mean, as long as you're under 85% of your one rep max, pyramiding up should be okay. I still don't feel it's the best way to do it. I'd rather see you start heavy and pyramid down. I want to see you do your heaviest work when you're the most fresh. I think that's the most intelligent way to do things. It'll reduce the risk of injury. It'll reduce the likelihood of strains, pains, and all that kind of stuff. Now, when it comes to pyramiding down versus straight sets, which is better? Neither. I do both. Um, Maybe for the last 3 or 4 years of my full-blown strength training, I would start with my heaviest set, drop the weight 7.5% and do as many reps as possible, drop the weight 7.5%, do as many reps as possible. So I was pyramiding down and going up in reps. I do a lot of that, and then I do a lot of my back off work is volume work. It's straight sets, like 3, 4, 5 sets by 10. So I kind of do both, if that helps at all. And Dirty Dan added, as someone who has built a fair amount of strength. If you have built a fair amount of strength, I want to see you start. I want to see you. I'd rather see you start with the heavy sets first and pyramid down, and then with your backup or assistance work, do a lot more straight sets, because that way you don't have to. Excuse my language here, but you don't have to fuck around. I mean, changing weight on every set is literally a pain in the ass, and I like to do that on one exercise, typically my big exercise. And then on my back off exercises, I like to do just straight sets because I don't have to change weight on everything. It's less of a pain in the ass, if that makes sense. But really, it's all personal. All right, let me get some water. Beatbox Innsbruck. What's your opinion on SARMs? I'm not an expert on that stuff, and I try not to speak out of my expertise. I know enough about SARMs to hold a minimally reasonable conversation. But, I don't like anything like that you're not going to run ongoing. It's like, why are you doing it? Here's my honest opinion. Most guys need to learn how to fucking train. I mean, you see all these guys in the gym, doing crap, taking oral steroids, taking SARMs. And you know what? Honestly, 80% of them don't know how to fucking train. They just aren't training hard enough, and it's really foolish. Anybody that knows how to train and trains properly and packs on a lot of muscle and strength, SARMs, all that kind of crap, I don't care what the hell they do, because they earned a right to do whatever the hell they want to do. Just do your research. I don't like things like I work as an editor in the fitness industry for a living. I look at research and studies every single day. And, quite frankly, you have to be concerned. It's concerning when people start putting things in their body that they have no idea what the long-term impact is going to be. And obviously, we have to weigh that, versus what's reasonable and unreasonable. But when you're putting a chemical that has no research behind it in your body, I think it's a really bad idea. That's my main opinion. All right, guys, keep the comments coming. Best comment is going to win a free Massive Iron t-shirt. I'll ship that anywhere in the world. Hell, I'll ship that to the moon or Mars or Proxima Centauri or wherever the hell you wherever the hell you are. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Feliciano Godet, WFPB here. Do you have any favorite plant-based whole foods? Do I have any favorite plant-based whole foods? I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of vegetables each day. I'm really big on food volume. I'm really big on vegetable intake. And one of my favorite things to eat is red and yellow bell peppers. You can just slice them up and eat them with a little bit of Greek yogurt, a little bit of lime, and dill and garlic, and make a really good dip. I love, I eat the living heck out of vegetables. I really do. So I'm at my diet is like a lot of proteins and a lot of vegetables. And when I fill in the gap with fats, it's just usually butter and olive oil and things like that. But my diet is, carbs. I'll eat oatmeal each day. I'll eat occasionally black and white rice, roasted potatoes. But I'm really a meat and vegetable guy. Really heavy on the vegetables. I just eat a crap ton of vegetables. Let's see. Any. Let's see. Wait. I missed a question here. Tolis 12. One more. Diet guidelines for lifters looking to get bigger and stronger without affecting their long-term health. Are there any foods they need to restrict? Well, long-term health is all about making good food choices. So when you're young, under the age of 30, I would recommend 80-20. 80% good choices, 20% bad choices. Bad choices, you want to have a little bit of beer, a frozen burrito every now and then, whatever your thing is. Excuse me. That's okay. Long-term health, you really have to focus on. You really have to take seriously your choices. When you get over the age of like 35 or 40, it's more like 90-10. You need to lock your crap up a little bit more because things are getting a little bit serious. Your hormone levels aren't what they used to be. Your body isn't what it used to be. Generally, your metabolism isn't what it used to be, generally, unless you have muscle mass. And you need to be more cognizant of what you're putting in your system. Balance is still a part of life. You still need a good balance in life. You still need to be able to have beer. I love my beer, right? You still need to have that balance where you can have your stuff, your cheesecake and your beer, whatever. You just need to kind of, for long-term health, you just need to kind of, make sure that the majority of what you're taking in is a good choice. There's really no long-term foods, no really foods you need to restrict in the long term. The main thing, there's such a scare in the fitness and nutrition industry about what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, etc. But when you remain balanced and you eat a wide variety of food choices, you really don't have to worry about if you eat a little bit of cheesecake, if you eat a donut here and there, as long as things are balanced and reasonable. As far as diet guidelines, I have a lot of videos on this channel about how fast you should bulk. And, that's, you just have to look for my channel, search the videos on my channel about bulking guidelines, because that's a topic that really requires some in-depth spieling. You never want to bulk too quickly. A beginner who is at a normal weight can gain about, don't get all upset because this is not a rule, it's a guideline, about 16 pounds of muscle mass their first year. There's really no reason for them to gain more than 25 pounds their first year if they are training hard. And that's a first year guy. After that, they really need to slow their rate of weight gain down. MW, any information on the use of progesterone as an AI during cycle? I don't fucking deal with that shit, dude. I don't have any fucking clue what any of that, I don't have any clue of what progesterone and AI cycles are and all that kind of crap. I don't deal with that. That's not my world, so I'm sorry. I'm a lifter. I'm a fitness guy. The further I get into lifting, the more I age, the less I pay attention to any of the steroid world. I really, literally don't give a fuck about that world. I really don't. My world, I want to live long. I want to be healthy. I'm not being disrespectful. If you guys want it, you guys are adults. You can do whatever the heck you want. I'm not going to put anybody down. I just simply don't know anything about that world. Other than basics. Man, listen, I've been in rooms with everybody you can imagine, and I've been in rooms where everybody you can imagine is talking about what they use. So I'm not ignorant, and I'm not trying to pretend like I'm ignorant. But beyond the cursory level, beyond the surface level, I really don't know anything about modern cycles, about modern, chemistry and what anybody is doing. And that's as honest as I can get. And my clients are blowing up my phone. I wish they would check my damn YouTube. Good grief, Thaddeus. Thaddeus, we need to get some of my clients on board. All right. Let's see. Adolfo Martinez, opinion on feeder workouts. Not really sure what you mean by a feeder workout. So you have to explain to me. I've not heard that term before. There's so much stuff floating out in the fitness industry, one can hardly keep up with it. I'm not sure what a feeder workout is or what you're trying to get out of a feeder workout, so maybe somebody can explain that to me, and I will get into it. What's going on, Christian? Got a few weeks left on the EDDF program I'm currently doing, and props to that. You can go over to everydamndayfitness.net, I believe, and order Alan Roberts' program, EDDF program. Very challenging, quality stuff. And again, you can go over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. I got programs over that as well. I always support those who I think are the good guys in the industry, because this isn't about making money. It's about helping people reach the motherfucking goals. All right, Christian, got a few weeks left on the EDEF program I'm currently doing. Was wondering if there's a specific program you would recommend for building strength and muscle I can do next. Christian, very good question. You are very strong to begin with. One of my favorite programs that I've run that worked best for me is the program that I have on my website, Power Muscle Burn. Power Muscle Burn is basically what I use my first 10 years in lifting. It combines a lot of lower rep, when I say lower rep, 5 to 6 rep stuff for your heavy movements. Then you do your volume movements, your volume, and then you do like pump or burn work. And the whole concept of Power Muscle Burn is you're attacking hypertrophy and strength, power building from every possible way. It's one of my favorite well-rounded programs. I think it's a program, there is no best program, but it is the bread and butter program that I think anybody that runs it's going to get a lot out of that program, and you'll learn a lot. So that's over my website, superlivingtoday.com. If anybody looks at the courses, they can check out Power Muscle Burn course. Christian's a good amigo of mine, and Christian, you can just slide into my DM on Instagram. I'll send you it for free if you want to look at it. Cash Flow 2K, what's going on, BHUD? Not much. Sitting here in Lebanon, Ohio, waiting for my wife to finish up some alterations. I'm in my office downstairs, just kind of relaxing today. Trying to get in my agua. All right. Flying therapy. Nothing does anything without the hard work, true hard work. Absolutely nothing. People need to learn how to master the ability to train properly. And honestly, all the overcomplication and all the drug talk and all the crap in this industry, most people need to just filter that stuff out and not worry about it as much, and just worry about bringing up their training. Let me know if the audio quality is okay in this video, please, as well, if you wouldn't mind. Joseph Martinez says, people want shortcuts. My buddy jumped on the gear before he could even bench 225. Yeah, I mean, I just find that, again, it's his choice, but I find it a stupid choice, okay? Because when you jump on gear, it's not something you're going to want to jump off of, because the dude's going to get on gear and his strength's probably going to go up, and he isn't going to want to get off, because then the strength's going to go down, right? Because he wasn't simply strong enough without it. I don't know. Life's too complicated to figure this shit out, but it's just not necessary. If you can't bench 225 as a natural, you really need to figure out your training first. So all right. Ab Reyes, are there times when you or Fiona don't feel like training? Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Last night was the 5th night in a row we ran. And holy shit. I mean, I did not want to do anything. Like, some days, just the routine, the grind is too much. We were out there yesterday. We're like, man, I just need a break from the grind. I need a break from the grind. So we stopped at 4K. And, sometimes you give your body a physical break, and sometimes you give your body a mental break. But that's okay. But when your body is physically and mentally up there, that's when you just need to grab your testicles and you just need to crush the living shit out of everything. And don't be hard on yourself for those days when you don't feel mentally or physically at your peak. You still need to go in and do a reasonable amount of work, right? But don't be hard on yourself. Don't feel like you have to be Superman, because that's a really bad expectation. So just keep that in mind. Zombie Frank, any strongman style workouts you could recommend that any regular lifter should incorporate into their routine? Any strongman type of stuff. There's a lot of good strongman stuff that is You could do a tack on at the end of a routine, or one way to do it is to train 3 days a week and then on Saturday have a strongman training session. I know a lot of people do that, and you could do like the loaded carries. If you can't do a stone lift, you could. There's a lot of creative ways to mimic stone lifts, and you can search that on YouTube. There's more ways than I could ever detail in this video. You could do trap bar deadlifts are a good way to mimic car deadlifts. You can do a lot of the strongman stuff, and any routines or programs, not really. That's not my forte. But I will say, if you're interested in doing it structure wise, it's probably you could either tack on 1 or 2 exercises at the end of a regular workout, depending on if you're doing an upper, lower, or full body, and make sure that that exercise is appropriate for your type of split. Or better yet, you could save that workout for a Saturday and then take a day off on Sunday, do strongman stuff on Saturday, take a day off on Sunday, and come back to your regular training on Monday. If you're doing strongman stuff, you're not generally going to be doing a lot of bench press stuff. You might be doing some overhead pressing stuff, obviously, but with that day off, you should be able to come back to your normal routine and be okay. The body will adapt. Just give it 3 to 4 weeks, and the body should adapt pretty well. And again, guys, if I don't get to your question, YouTube can be really crazy sometimes. It can be kind of strange. So if it seems like I'm ignoring your question, I'm not. Slide over to my Instagram at Ben the Barman. All right, we're about a half an hour in. I'm going to get the rest of the questions. Just a reminder, best question of the day is going to win a Massive Iron t-shirt. And if you need one-on-one help, coaching, head over to my Instagram at Ben the Barman. I have a few slots left. I would love to help and talk about your goals and all that good stuff. All right, end commercial. Where are we at? I'm running out of water. Flying therapy. Can you touch on the importance of fiber in a lifter's diet also? There's some fiber's almost become controversial because there was such an intense focus on fiber that sometimes it's almost over-focused on. You know what I'm saying? I will say when it comes to carbs and glucose intake, there is, and I'm no expert on this, Robert Chinetsky could probably do a little bit better job talking about this, but when you take in glucose, I believe it's glucose or fructose or whatever, simple sugars apart from fiber intake, like say a fruit, apples, oranges, whatever that have fiber, when you take in those types of simple sugars without fiber, you have something that occurs called ATP trapping. And basically, long story short, when you eat that crap sugar, your brain doesn't really know you've had the calories you've had, and you're not satisfied. So it can lead to more hunger, more sugar cravings, or whatever, because your insulin's bouncing all over the place. Your brain doesn't really know you've brought in enough calories, and it just messes with your system. So what that's going to lead to is an insulin roller coaster. Then you're dealing with a sugar addiction, and your body wants more food. So from a basic dietary standpoint, your simple sugars should really come from something that has fiber. Because when you look at the research, when you have these simple sugars with a fiber source, you don't have the ATP trapping. The body knows that you've eaten something, and you're not going to have all these cravings. So fiber is important, not just to help you stay regular. And believe me, that's a bigger problem than you would suspect for a lot of lifters. But fiber is also good for that very reason, to help stave off cravings, to help stave off, some of the crazy things that come from just eating simple sugars apart from fiber. So the main reason is health and appetite control, and that you're eating an appropriate amount of calories. All right, keep the questions coming. Ask me anything. I'll answer anything except the things I don't want to answer, and then I won't answer those things. I'm just kidding. All right. Zen 60. Funny. I had bell peppers sauteing in the aroma cooker as we were talking about them. I think they're called Bader Einhoff when something like that happens. Yeah, man, I absolutely love bell peppers. They're extremely flexible. And we were talking earlier about vegetable intake and plant based foods and that sort of thing. If you've never tried roasting zucchinis and roasting carrot slices, try that because those aren't typically vegetables a lot of people like to eat. But if you slice them thin, you cover them with a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, roast them a little bit, they taste absolutely brilliant. Completely changes the taste of the carrots, and they're a really good way to get in some veggie intake that a lot of people have not tried. Joseph Martinez, can you build a massive chest with just barbell overhead press? Say you take your overhead press from 135 to 185. Would that carry over to some big chest gains? No, not really. You're going to use the chest to a small degree, but when you're doing the overhead press, you're really not getting full activation. It's really the chest is a minor muscle group in that equation. You're not going to build a big chest from just barbell overhead presses. No, not at all. Let's see. From which country do you belong? I am from the United States. I'll be in Australia in October. I'll be in Scotland in January. We're going to do some running and exploring the local food and beer, of course. Let's see what's going on, Cass. Cass is in the house. Cass is one of my clients. Good to see you here. Christian, you're welcome. Kev Watson, audio is good. Glad to hear that because the video is a little bit choppy on my end. Thank you, YouTube, and your inability to create an app that functions properly. Ben on Adventures. Even though my goal is more aesthetics driven, I found that the 6 to 8 rep range is my favorite. The only thing I can really say is that every exercise is different, and when it comes to rep range talk, people are always asking me about what is an optimal rep range. And what I will tell people is every exercise is literally different, and every individual is literally different. Take barbell rows and dumbbell rows are the perfect example. I love doing dumbbell rows for 12 to 20, even 30 rep sets. It's brutal, it's cardio, but I just love doing high reps. I just really feel a lot of value in that. When I do barbell rows, if I have to do 10 rep sets, man, they're like the worst thing ever. I prefer to do 5 to 6 to 8 max. So the main point here is that every exercise is really different, and I want to always encourage you guys to give yourself the freedom to change the rep range to whatever you like to do on a specific exercise, as long as you're progressing. 69 Camaro. Your take on vegan. I'm not sure what the acronym WFPB means, so if somebody could fill me in, and building muscle. I really have no take on it at all. I mean, look, outside of all the memes and the humor about vegans having to tell people they're vegan, which, is obviously hyperbole. There's some people like that, but you know what? Then again, if you look at my Instagram feed, it's Flex Friday, it's making gains, it's gains and gains. It's like, come on, guys. Like the lifters that are criticizing vegans for always talking about vegan, like we have to see your fucking Flex Friday pictures like every week. Like we get it. You have a bicep. Get over it, okay? So I don't want to pick on vegans because lifters we're all the same. We're all cut from the same cloth. Whatever you guys believe in, you're always doing your shit, and that's cool. Be yourself, all that kind of good stuff. But your take on veganism and building muscle, any diet where you feel it's sustainable and it's based on good quality food intake with micronutrients is okay by me. It really is. Life is short. Who cares what anybody chooses to do? As long as they're happy and they're taking care of themselves. The veganism comes with a special set of challenges, and that is, trying to make sure you get in all your amino acids. And the only thing I don't like about veganism and vegetarianism is the folks that rely on processed fake foods, like highly processed vegan and vegetarian foods. There's a ton of these foods out there, the highly processed things, chips, processed meals. You know, if you're going to be a vegan, you're going to be a vegetarian, don't rely on that crap. My throat's going from talking all this time. And that goes really for anybody in any eating lifestyle. Why the fuck would you want to be a vegan or vegetarian and then eat all these processed frankenfoods? I have no idea, but that's a video for another time. All right. Adolfo clarifying: feeder workouts were proposed by Rich Piana on rest days, consisting of very high reps. Look, high rep volume has its place, and so does pump work. But recovery stuff, I don't think it's going to speed muscle recovery and growth. It'll flush some stuff, absolutely. Like if you want to do a workout the next day to do some flushing work, I can see that, but I don't know, man. Is it needed? No, absolutely not. Most people don't need anything like that. It sounds good on paper, but there is some value in doing recovery and movement, active recovery. There certainly is. Like if you have a really, really intense chest day and your chest is just sore, the next day and the next 2 days after, if you want to do a little bit of band work just to get the blood in there and maybe help it recover, that's fine. But don't go overboard and don't invest too much time in that. There are other things you can do, for your food intake, getting out in the damn sun, taking a nice hot bath, all that kind of good stuff, foam rolling. So don't rule out any of that stuff. All right, what do we have next? Let's see. Keep the questions coming, guys. The best question will win a massive iron t-shirt, and I'll post a winner in the comment section tonight before I go to bed, so look back, please. Chris Fazer, let's see. He was just asking Adolfo a question. Kev Watson, start a new construction job, have 1 day to train. I'm thinking bench and shoulder presses plus assistance to complement the main back row moves. Any thoughts? 1 day to train. It's good that you're training 1 day a week and not just quitting. What you want to do is probably cycle things, okay? Hear me out. If I had 1 day to train, I would do a bench press to start week 1, and to start week 2, I would do an overhead press. Now, after the bench press, I would do a lighter, less intense shoulder exercise, because you can't do uber amount of compounds in each movement, or in each workout. So I would kind of have an A-B, week 1, week 2, where week 1 would be more chest and back focused, week 2 would be more like shoulder and leg focused or whatever. But you're still working each body part in that workout. You're just not hammering every compound movement for every muscle group in that workout. And I hope that makes sense. I could put together a workout plan for somebody that wanted to do that, but that's really a good place to start. He said, I'm thinking about bench and shoulder presses plus assistance to complement. Here's the way you got to, and I don't know if you're doing legs. Upper body. Upper body, you have horizontal press and you have vertical press. Upper body, you have horizontal row or pull and vertical row or pull. So you have 4 main movement patterns for the upper body. So, and 2 of them are back. So on day 1, week 1, you could do your horizontal press and then a lighter, less impactful horizontal row. Okay. And since you did a heavy horizontal press, for your vertical press, a less impactful or lighter vertical press and a heavier vertical pull, if you see what I'm saying. Vertical pull would be pull-ups, lat pull-downs, that sort of thing. So I hope that helps. That's just a basic structure that would probably, you could cycle week 1, week 2, and that would probably be of some benefit. Let's see. Juan says, tank top for the winner? Yeah, absolutely. The winner, the best question. You can get a t-shirt, you get a tank top. I really don't care. I have quite a lot of variations over at my website, superlivingtoday.com. If you want to check them out, colors, different styles of t-shirts, that sort of thing. If you want a tank, absolutely. I'd send you a tank instead of a t-shirt. Ashy1 says, you missed my sleep question. I don't see it. Let's see. I'm scrolling back. It's not here. Sometimes YouTube does that, Ashy, and it's not me. I'm not ignoring you. Post it up again. If I miss it, send it over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman. Slide into my DM with the question if I miss it, but please post it up again. Beatbox Innsbruck. What about triple progression for hypertrophy, like doing a mesocycle for 4 weeks and add weight and volume every week and increase intensity, then deload and repeat? Put the brakes on. All right. You said add weight, that is intensity, add volume, and increase intensity. So weight increase, that's progressive overload, but that is increasing intensity. So when you're doing something like this, you want to maybe add a set. That's volume, adding volume. And you want to have your triple progression set up. You want to have your progression method set up so at the end, then you add weight. Let's say you do 2 sets of 10 on bench press with 225 pounds. Okay. Then you go to 3 sets of 10. Then you add another 4 sets of 10. You're progressing till you can get 4 sets of 10. Then you could add weight, and then you could drop down and then start progressing again until you can get that volume up and then add weight. So I hope that helps. You just mentioned intensity twice, so I got a little bit confused. So maybe you could clarify a little bit. Feliciano Gade. Push-ups. Any recommendation on set reps for strength training? I would like to do them daily, about 4x20 now. I would say don't do them daily. You probably want to do them 4 to 5 times a week. My favorite way of doing them is to give yourself a 2-minute block each day. 2-minute block. Now, hear me out. Let's say you do push-ups 4 times a week and you have a 2-minute block each day. During that 2-minute block, you're going to do as many push-ups as you can, anyway, anyhow. Okay? So during the week, you've done 4 blocks of 2 minutes. You're going to add up the reps you did for that whole week, and then next week, you do the same thing. 4 days of 2-minute blocks, and you try to improve on your reps. Even if you just get 1 rep improvement or 2 reps, let's say you get 2 additional reps in a week. Over the course of a year, that's 104 extra reps over 4 different sets. So that's like adding 25 to each set over the course of a year. That's a pretty decent strength increase. That's just one way to do it, but that's a good approach and one excellent way to think about it. Ben on adventures. I agree, it's very individualized, but I'm at 6 to 8 for the main lifts. Yeah, that's a good range. I mean, when I'm doing squats, or bench, deadlift's a little bit different though. I don't like to do a lot of reps on deadlift because we tend to get sloppy really quickly. But for bench and squats, that's a good range. 69 Camaro said whole food plant-based, and thank you for clarifying. He had used the acronym WFPB, which is whole food plant-based. And I assume WFPB would not be one of these guys that is out there eating all these processed vegan and vegetarian foods. And I would assume that's kind of the differentiator. Correct me if I'm wrong. Philo68, have you ever tried green supplements and or apple cider vinegar? Beneficial or a waste of cash? I have tried a green supplement. And while some are really good, some are really nasty. But at the end of the day, some things you just slam down because of the health benefits. I see no issue with a green supplement at all. I don't consider it a waste of money because some people simply do not like vegetables. I deal with clients all the time that don't like vegetables. And any way you can get in your micronutrients, I'm all for. Um, Apple cider vinegar, it's being hyped as, sometimes these things come along in fitness and in health and nutrition, and things just receive so much hype. A little bit, just be in moderation. Don't revolve your life around apple cider vinegar. I mean, would I consider it a waste of money? It's very inexpensive, so absolutely not. I will say this. Um, when it comes to making green shakes, there's so many wonderful, wonderful recipes out there on the market, and I would encourage everybody to try them if they're interested in the green shake. I've been around people that made them, and they tasted pretty good. You can add a little lime or whatever you want in there, and add a little bit of, make it taste better. But is it less expensive than a green supplement? I don't know, because you got to buy a lot of greens typically on a daily basis. Spinach and all that kind of good stuff. And fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables can add up quickly in price. So if you're doing a daily, it might be a good idea to like scoop in some green supplements into your own shake just to increase the intensity. But I don't know. It's a debate, right? It's a debate. Which is better, a green supplement or doing your own at home? And I think it's actually, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think it's more expensive to make your own. So therefore, I think a green shake, if you need that sort of thing, might be worth your consideration. All right. Francis Drake, thoughts on handstand push-ups? You know what? It's really funny that you mention this, because when you talk about body weight training, there's like a million different push-up variations, but a lot of folks aren't even familiar with basic, more shoulder-centric, body weight movements, like push backs, and like pike push-ups, and like handstand push-ups. And there's kind of a progression here. I think handstand push-ups are. I love working. I personally love to do body weight stuff. I do. I don't do a lot of it. I'm not going to pretend I do, but I do it every single workout. I do one body weight exercise every single workout. When I'm doing my shoulders, I'll do pushbacks. I'll do pike press. I'm too fat, my body weight. I just would struggle with handstand push-ups, but I think they're certainly worth considering. And I like the value. I just like the fun and the value of doing one body weight exercise each workout. So certainly worth considering. If you can do them, I would definitely do them. Just be nice and controlled. Don't be reckless, and don't mess up your shoulders. Will the bearded beast of Duloc ever return? The bearded beast of Duloc will never return. The beard will never come back. We evolve in life, and the bearded beast of Duloc was a man that was eating himself to death, and it's still who I am. I'm still the bearded beast of Duloc, but now I'm more the big hairy ugly dude. You know what I'm saying? But now I'll never grow that beard back. It's unless I get a movie role, which is very unlikely. I've only been in 2 movies. But, I don't know. If I ever wanted to do a crazy barbarian photo shoot when I got super ripped and just had juicy pectacles, who knows? It might be fun. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Do you think it's possible to recomp as an intermediate? That's from Colin Morris. It's very possible to do it as a beginner. I have had clients that have done it. I had a client, David, and I won't say his last name, but he came to me, had never touched a barbell exercise. And I did training sessions with him once a week in here, and then I put together his workout and his diet. And David was squatting 315 at the end of 6 months. He was deadlifting 365, benching 225. David lost 60 pounds, and he ended up with 16-inch arms. Just absolutely phenomenal. And did he have good genetics? Probably. But he still recomped, right? So there's something physiologically involved that allowed him to just crush it. David crushed it. I would say it's going to be harder as an intermediate because your natural gains potential per month is decreased. When you're a beginner, you can add more muscle mass each month. As an intermediate, You can't really. So you might be recomping. You might have the potential to recomp as an intermediate, but it's going to be slower and you probably won't notice it. The only thing I always tell folks, look, just focus on what you can control. You have to work out hard in the gym, whether you're cutting or bulking. Doesn't matter, right? That's not an option. That's not a variable. That has to occur. If you need to defat, if you need to lose some of that juicy fat mass that you have, you got to do it. And regardless of whether you can recomp or not, you still have to put in the work. So it's just always in life, focus on what you can control, your gym effort and a good quality diet. Let's see. Ashley's question just popped up finally, and I'm glad I got it. Have you ever struggled with sleep? I tend to wake up very early for no reason and struggle to go back to sleep. I have not struggled with sleep. I have a lot of clients that do struggle with sleep. I have a lot of friends that struggle with sleep. There are certain steps you can do to help. Are they magical? No. Turning off your phone and keeping your eyes away from your phone a couple hours before bedtime. Having a consistent schedule, you go to bed at the same time. Sometimes eating before bed, eating carbs and fats, or for some people it's food combination, but you want to eat something satisfying maybe before bed that will help encourage you to sleep. Sometimes we wake up in the middle of the night just because our body is like hungry and it doesn't want to sleep. So, and sometimes, we just, there are other things at play. So I've not struggled with sleep. I'm not an expert. I do know there are many things you can do to try to help. And maybe it'll only help 10 to 15%, but it's certainly worth consideration. I always thought, in the world of medicinal marijuana, and honestly, I haven't smoked pot since I was 20. It's been a long time. I'll be 52 this year. But I always thought that medicinal marijuana might be a benefit for someone that struggles to sleep. It might relax them. I don't know. I don't know enough to know if that's something worth considering. I would absolutely talk to a doctor about it because a sleep issue is a serious issue. And if you're not getting proper sleep, it's going to impact so many areas of your life. So definitely see a doctor about it. Yane, I believe, Rajaranta. Sorry for pronouncing your name incorrectly. How would you cycle strength and hypertrophy focused workouts every fourth or fifth day? They're the same thing, my friend. They're the same thing. If you building strength, to build strength, you need to get you need more muscle. To build muscle, you need to be more strength. So typically what folks are talking about when they're talking about cycling strength and hypertrophy workouts is cycling lower rep work with more weight, with more volume stuff, more pump stuff, that sort of thing. You can check out my book, Power Muscle Burn, at superlivingtoday.com. And that incorporates all the different styles. If you want to do low reps and then volume work, you can do low reps, on day one. And usually you recover pretty quickly from the more intense stuff. So you only need a couple days off. But then if you're going to do volume work and pump work, you could probably do let's just use bench press, for example. Bench press on Monday, heavy work, and then take 2 days off, and then come back on Thursday and do volume work. Volume work for your chest, pump work, and then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, so you get 3 days off. You're probably going to need more recovery time from your hypertrophy or volume work just because of the volume. So you generally need fewer days off after hypertrophy work. But if you're going to do it like that, probably 2 days off after your strength work, probably 3 days off, maybe 4 days, 3 days off, maybe 4 days off after your volume or hypertrophy work. So I hope that helps a little bit. Philo says, great info as always. Thanks. Thank you. Guys, I'm about to jump off after these questions run out. Keep them coming. Assuming a lot of questions, I'm going to jump off. I got quite a few left to go. Rod Velez Asira. How many sets per week per muscle group would you advise for maintaining muscle mass? I have a really good video on this. How much volume do you need? And I put together a video on this, I don't know, about a month ago. So it really depends. Probably 9 at minimum, 15 at maximum for major body parts, and then for minor body parts, 6 to 8, 6 to 9, if that helps at all. Ben says bodyweight exercises are fun. Indeed, they are. And in life and in lifting, we have to do what's fun, not just, we have to have at least some room in our training to do some fun stuff. So I love doing bodyweight work. Tatsu Maru, can I marry a horse in the USA? I don't know. That's a very good question, Tatsu Maru. Can I marry a horse in the USA? There are some people that look like a horse, Tatsu, if that's your fetish. Or maybe you're just a troll, and if you're a troll, that's a pretty weak troll attempt. So I would say anybody that gets on the internet and posts a question, can I marry a horse? It's with high degree of likelihood that you probably couldn't even date your sister if she was attracted to you. So good luck in life, and may the force be with you. All right, Dead Pelican Guy. Having pain in the shoulder blade area. Had it for a few weeks now. Should I take a week or 2 off? Anytime you get a consistent recurring pain, number one, you need to take it seriously. And you need to, if it's a recurring pain that lingers longer than 2 weeks, you probably need to stop training whatever lifts aggravate that completely. And then when you come back the 3rd or 4th week, do a very light tester. If the pain is still there, you need to get your butt to a doctor. So I hope that helps. Let's see, what else do we have here? Othel64, hey buddy, just wanted to say thank you for making a difference with my fitness. I'm a disabled Marine Corps combat veteran. Thank you for your service. Army vet here. I've been through a lot. It was nice to finally find someone I can trust. I appreciate anybody that has served their country, whatever country it is, putting themselves in harm's way. So thank you for that. And I'm glad to help. I always try to provide the absolute best information I can. Sometimes, obviously as a human being, I'm growing. My information, is evolving. My education is evolving, but I always do my best to help you guys out. So thank you. And I appreciate you following along. Ayane, I think I'm an intermediate training. My bench is 100 by 8 and squat. Yep, definitely intermediate, Yanni. That is definitely good quality intermediate strength levels. Francis Drake, how do you get your traps so big? Do you incorporate any upright rows? Not really. I mean, man, for 10 years, my life was RDLs, power shrugs, deadlifts, rack pulls, just a lot of yoke work. And honestly, I think some of it's just genetic. It's just genetics. But I attack back and traps and deadlifts like a fanatic. It's what I really, really love. But if you look at my back pictures on Instagram, I think it's just a lot of genetics in the way my frame sets, if that makes sense. So I don't really know, but if you want to get your traps maximized, a lot of shrug work, a lot of deadlifts, and a lot of strong back work, and a lot of heavy overhead presses as well, because those work the traps as well. Let's see. Ron says, sir, how to use D-ball? I am hiding you from the channel because you're spamming my channel. Sorry. Nicola, hey, I'm skinny and want to bulk. Been training for a few months, gained 20 pounds, but not that much of muscle mass. First off, you're gaining weight too rapidly. You got to slow that down or you're going to get fat. Can you give me some tips on how to get more mass, some tips on training? The best tips I can give you, Nicola, are in my book, Massive Iron. And I hate to turn my Q&As into a commercial session, but my book, Massive Iron, has 200 pages of content, about 20 workouts, and it will equip you to build muscle mass. And it's only $14.99 at superlivingtoday.com. Outside of that, man, I mean, I got tons of free content on this channel. I have over 2,000 videos. If you want to know everything about building mass and strength, just start consuming all of my videos. And they're absolutely free. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to hop off. Questions are done. If you have a question and missed the live video or I did not get to your question, head over to Instagram at BenTheBarman, slide in my DM. If you need one-on-one help, you're stuck with fat loss, you're stuck with muscle building, I have coaching slots available. They are not bullshit coaching. I am in contact with you every single day. And slide in my DM on Instagram at Ben the Barman for more information on that. And if you just want to be cool and have a massive iron t-shirt, head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Have a great day.